Dan United, what are you going for, man?
City top, Liverpool second. I think it's going to be interesting this season, the battle between Nunez and Haaland. I think that's going to be an interesting battle there. I actually think that I think Spurs will get third. I think they're looking really, really good. I'm gonna blow the chat off here completely. Are you ready for this? So I'm going United fourth. I'm feeling the most confident I've felt in the last 5 years.
Yeah, mate, it's been long, a lot of traveling around the country, all of that business. But I'm here. I'm excited for the season to start on Sunday. It's going to be good. I've had a good time off since May, and now football's back this weekend. So getting into that, we'll talk about that, I'm sure.
How are we doing, people? Welcome back to Football's 12th Man podcast. I am your host, Dan Potts, and I'm with the gang. Welcome back to the Race for Europe show. It's been an unbelievable weekend of football. There's been drama, there's been passion, there's been tears, there's been laughter, and there's been some surprises as well. Big up my panel. Lewis, you're back. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. I didn't say anything mad enough to get clipped, so I'm even better. But yeah, big up yourself, panel, comments, everyone. And yeah, let's get into this.
Let's get into it indeed. Dan United, listen, man, let's keep it brief. How are you, mate? You're still with us. I hope you're okay. Not too depressed, nothing like that, man.
I'm actually booking me and Lawless a weekend away for the last weekend of August because I think we're going to be on the transfer list and move to the other fucking shows if it carries on like this.
Lawless, what are you saying about that, man?
You know what? I was enjoying that intro, right? I was like, oh, this is fucking brilliant. And then I see me pop up there and I'm like, nah, come on. It was so good. And then you had to get me. So... yeah, listen, I've got what I have to say. People will try and put me in Man United's category, West Ham in Man United's box, but I'm here to defend that. I'm not having it. We're not the same. We'll talk about that.
We shall see, man. Let us not get too cocky because trust me, there'll be clips of a lot of us throughout the season. Tobes, what you saying, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Better than Lewis, that's for sure. But I'm all right. It's been a decent week. It's been fun rattling a few.
Congrats on the win, bro.
Oh, really? Congrats on the saltiness. Yeah.
Here's what it is. I'll take
straight in. Let me see. Straight in, man.
Listen, and that's what I love. They just can't get over it. So that's what I love. I'm happy to be here, mate. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, man. It's one of the weeks I can actually look forward to this one without my team being a part of the issues. Big up everybody in the chat. Big up Peter Kip, Potts Fuggery. Listen, I'm nothing like Skull Fuggery, man. Don't even compare the two. I'm like the Europa League, Conference League level, and he's Champions League, man. I can't be dealing with that. Trust me. Sorry, Lawless, I had to get that one in there. Right, let's get into this.
FF version. Reborn FM.
Oh, we'll come into that, bro. We'll come into that nonsense. We'll come into that. God, that competition is unreal. Let's start with Man United. I will go into Chelsea Spurs because that one's going to get fiery, but I want to go into Manchester United because Dan United, man, it's time for us all to have a little bit of a laugh and have a little bit of a ribbon, man. This top four stuff, the preseason was looking good. Man United fans have said that Ten Hag had transformed things, and then we saw the Brighton game and it wasn't great, but my God, that was a shambles at the weekend, man. So I know that we think times have moved on. We've got a few days now. Things have settled down. But I just want to know the goings on at that club, man, because it is a shambles at the moment. What I saw at the weekend was so bad. It reminded me of something that I saw at my club a few seasons ago where all the players had just down tools. There was nothing working. There was no telepathy with the manager, the players. The club need to look at themselves. The owners need to look at themselves. And I'm sure you've seen the breaking news in the last few minutes that could even be happening. I just think it's like rip it up and start again at Man United. Do you know what I mean, Dan? So go on, man. Talk to me.
I thought my week wouldn't get any worse, and then Elon Musk goes and banters us last night as well, which was just like, for fuck's sake, when does this end? A couple of things from the weekend. I mean, where to start? I'm only going to say what everybody else is thinking, which is, the words you can use: shambolic, a joke, just god awful. The thing for me was the whole team. Including the new signings, there was no fight. There was no effort, and there was no fight. And there was a look around that field. Every time a bad goal goes in, I mean, we'll talk about De Gea in a second. There was a look around that field of, wasn't me, it's not me, and it's just, this is where it stems from, is the culture of the club. Now, we've done the right thing in bringing in a manager that I do think, and if he's being questioned already, I think that's ridiculous. I think it has got the right idea. I think what we're seeing now, which we've known for a long time, is that this club is rotten from the top to the bottom. The top being the board, absolutely, shambolic. Don't have a clue about the football club. Still in debt. Still have never had that connection with the fans. Don't give a flying monkeys. Then you go into the coaching side of it. A lot of the coaches that are still there from a few years ago, picking up a living in my eyes, don't have a clue what they're doing. And then it goes to the players. The players are a virus, and I say that throughout the team. I really do. There's good young players there that want to have that opportunity to play for this, I say, great club, once great club, and they're being stopped by these people like Rashford, like McTominay. Like, I'm going to say it, like fucking Ronaldo. Ronaldo really annoyed me on the weekend. He really annoyed me. I heard one person say, "Yeah, but you run around." Well, yeah, he's a professional footballer. I don't care. I don't care if you freaking run around. De Gea for me, I've been absolutely destroyed for saying this comment for the last 3 or 4 years, and that's that De Gea is not a modern day goalkeeper. He's not. He's not a keeper that's moved with the times. He can't play from the back with his feet. He can't pick out a pass. He looks so shaky on free kicks. He can't come for crosses when it's corners. He looks terrified. Now, the goal he conceded, the first one, I thought I'd seen the worst goal, conceded from United when Taibbi let that one go in with Letitia a few years ago. That was awful. I mean, that was something that an under-9 goalkeeper wouldn't do. So for me, there's a certain person that we all know on the world of YouTube that's got a very big following in the Manchester United persuasion, that always goes on about people having agendas about certain players, but he doesn't call out this goalkeeper. Well, I honestly think his time is up. His time is up. He was player of the season last season. What do you connect with last season? It was our worst season ever. Of course, he's going to be one of the players of the season. He's having shots at him every bloody game. If you look back through the years when he's won player of the season, it's when we have had a shocking season. Well, okay, you look at that. Jordan Pickford rose to prominence when he played for Sunderland. They had a terrible season. His shot stopping stats were through the roof. Yeah, because he's facing at least 7 or 8 shots a game. On Saturday, that not only did he let that ball go through unbelievably, but the second goal, he hasn't got a clue what he's doing. And I tell you what, it's going to get worse. I stand by this now. It's going to get worse before it gets better. There is no way, there is no player on that pitch that I look at and I think he's going to pick this by the scruff of the neck and start dictating. None of them want to. Luke Shaw, someone I've always stuck up for. I really like Luke Shaw. And when he had that 18 months of absolutely flying, I was like, there you go, that's the Luke Shaw that I've backed. Awful. Lisandro Martinez, awful. And I mean awful. I thought he was bad against Brighton. He was worse on Saturday. He looked so far out of his depth. Maguire, well, we know what Maguire is. We know what we get with Maguire. Dalot, okay, yep, he tried. He ran up and down, whatever. Fred steals a living. I mean, absolutely steals a living. That bloke is awful. Absolutely awful. Ericsson, I'll be honest with you, I don't think he just didn't want it. He didn't look like he wanted it. Rashford, we keep saying, so we've said for years, Rashford's got this talent, he's going to break through. He's 24, 25 now. This isn't a 19-year-old kid. He should be doing it week in, week out. I don't care what anyone says. PSG, they're saying about PSG coming and getting him. I'll drive into the airport myself. I will, because I'll tell you what, we can get players out there for less money with less egos that would do 10 times the job he does. I don't give a flying monkeys anymore about this thing about the, feeding the kids. That's fine. That's not football. I'm here about football. And as football, he is one of the worst players we've had for the last 2 years. Sancho is a player that's suffering because he goes to Germany. He's a player that likes the ball at his feet. He runs. His little ticky-tack gone. Can't do it in this United squad because United players haven't got a fucking clue what they're doing. Ronaldo is just a prima donna. He is. He's 37. Do you know what? If we get a transfer fee, off you go. See you later. Because he's not part of a process that we're going to be building. If Ten Hag's really, really serious about building something, and the owners are really behind him building something, then get Ronaldo, get his coat, get his flash fucking car, and fuck him off. Because I'm sick of it. Absolutely sick of it. I'm honestly at the point now where I just don't care anymore. I've cancelled my MUTV subscription, which I'd never thought I'd do. I cancelled my season ticket years ago, but I won't go to a game now. I won't go until these owners go. I won't buy any shirts anymore. The wife buys me every Christmas. I've told her straight, stop it. I'm sick of it. I feel like I'm having a breakdown. And it's because I've even changed my hairstyle. I'm even with superstition now. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I need to change stuff up. I don't know. But it's shambolic. And to answer your question, guys, we're still going to get fourth.
Is that fourth from bottom, Dan?
Mate, I'm fucking out. Anything.
Man, I hear what you're saying, Dan. I do, and I feel your pain. Tobes, how much at the weekend was to blame on players and management, and how much is to blame at the top? Because I could look at it both ways for me, man. Gary Neville was saying it's the board. A lot of people were saying that it's no excuses. Those players and the manager were a disgrace. I thought the manager at times was very bizarre with some of his team selection substitutions. I thought the players were a shambles. But at the same time, I look at this board and owners and think, what were they expecting? They basically added Eriksen and Martinez and wondered why they're not playing any better. It's bizarre to me. Where do you stand on it, Tobes?
I think where I stand on it is the manager gets the least amount of blame. I can't really give percentages right now. But every single one of those factors, every single one of those components are to blame. So the board, the manager, and the players. So starting with Ten Hag, I think he deserves the least blame, but he deserves blame. And the reason why he deserves blame is because he made he made one or two shocking decisions. He put Eriksen, who's never played six in his entire career, and he's playing him at the base of your midfield. And I get it. You want to try and have someone there who can initiate your attacks. You want to have someone who's competent on the ball. But Eriksen taking the ball in a half turn and playing through a press, like this has never been his MO. So why would it be his MO now at a much older age and a much older stage of his career? Like, that's a massive mistake from Ten Hag. Like, we've heard that Lisandro can play DM. Just play with Lisandro DM. I actually disagree with Dan on Lisandro's performance. I don't think Lisandro was awful, but I feel like Ten Hag just didn't help himself with the way he's set up. He didn't help himself at all. But Brentford are a team who want to play with height, who want to use their strength and physicality. And in those type of games, you want to be padding your team with players who are physically capable of dealing with whatever they throw at you. So I don't think I feel that Eriksen in the sixth role was a howler from him. I think that was, and that's off the back of questionable decisions that he made, even in the first game, playing Eriksen false nine. Just put Rashford there. So so that's the only bit of blame I'll give Ten Hag. Now, the players definitely deserve an absolute battering, because ultimately, when you look at the goals they conceded, the first two goals, comical goals, and David De Gea again. Like, I think I've washed my hands with De Gea now. Like, last season, I think he had a goodish season in terms of the games he saved versus the games he lost. He saved Man United in more games than he cost them. But now it's like getting to a point where the mistakes are just unbearable. You can forgive him maybe occasionally if he boots the ball into the opposition because he's not good at playing out once or twice, but he does it all the time. So in addition to the fact that he's not good at playing out, he's not good at passing to any of his defenders or midfielders, he's not comfortable on the ball, he's now not able to save shots that he should be saving. That first goal, how many times have we seen De Gea concede goals like that? Like, your USP is shot stopping, and you cannot be letting those type of goals go in. So if you're telling me that people are going to be scoring those type of goals against David De Gea, which they have done over the years, then what use do Man United have for this guy? And it's not just him. Luke Shaw, pathetic, shocking performance per. Dalot, he's rubbish. He's absolutely rubbish. Why does he get props? Why does he get ratings? He's crap. He can't defend. He's not good going forward. He makes bad decisions of the ball. He can't track his runners. He's bad. Maguire, look at the goal. Look at the fourth goal. Man United have a corner. Ivan Toney's the threat. Ivan Toney's your man. And I don't know why he's stepping further into Brentford's half of the pitch. Like, where are you going? There's a massive bit of space between where the corner's being taken and where you are. Like, your priority is Ivan Toney. I think it's like, I'm not even good at football, and even in our Saturday league games, like whenever we take corners, there's two of us on one man. Or if you're that fast or strong enough, it's 1v1. But that's your man. You say that before the set piece is taken. So where was he going? Where was he going? And Ivan Toney just peels off him, and easily. Maguire doesn't even know where he is. Bang, 4-0. And then don't even get me started on Sancho. You know how much I rate Sancho, but he's been garbage. He's been garbage, and he's been shit for a long time now. Like, he had his good period in like January, February, but he's been crap for ages. So these players cannot get away with it. Like, I'm sorry, they just can't. Like, if you get blamed 4-0, yeah, you can talk about the board, but you have to put some pressure on these players, because that's pathetic. That is pathetic. Nobody can tell me, as bad as the United are, that team are so bad that they go and lose 4-0 to Brentford. It's pathetic.
Toby, do you think that Henderson going has sort of given De Gea? What I'm thinking is De Gea's like, I got Heaton behind me now. I'm not saying he's not trying. I'm not saying that for one second, but I kind of feel like with Henderson, who backs himself, you know, whether he went about saying what he said the right way or the wrong way, that's another topic to talk about. But I kind of feel like having a player behind you that backs themselves and is you know, it completely believes they should be in your position does push a player to perform better. And I kind of feel with that gone, I honestly think that's one of the major issues with De Gea. De Gea knows he's going to play now. Unless we sign a keeper that's going to push him now, De Gea knows he's going to play week in, week out, and that scares me. I do
think competition definitely helps, but I think fundamentally David De Gea is just not a good goalkeeper anymore.
No,
I think it's even if he had competition now, this guy's been making howlers for seasons in, seasons out, and the bly you would give David De Gea is, oh yeah, he makes mistakes, but when you look at the amount of games he's winning Man United, it's sort of balanced. He's sort of in the green there than the red. But it's like, how much more can Man United fans, players, staff put up with this? And then he comes out with an apology, and it's like, what's the point?
Luis Enrique, the Spain keeper, he binned him straight away, didn't he? He played him for a few games for Spain, binned him. No, doesn't want him, and that's like. That's a big alarm call. You know, if this so-called keeper is meant to be one of the best in the world, some people have you believe, he's not getting picked for his Spanish, for the Spain team. Sorry, and I'll be honest, there's keepers there that I don't think for Spain are world class. You know, I'm talking world class, top three in your position in the world. The warning signs have got to be there for United fans. I've been saying this for years. I'm with you, Tobes. I don't agree. I don't rate him at all. I think he's more of a hindrance than he is a help. And I go back to what I said. Yeah, his shot stopping stats are big because he's having so many at him. Law of average. You're going to save a few. So I completely agree with everything you're saying there, Tobes. I really do.
Yeah. I think with De Gea, the last couple of seasons I've seen has been poor. And I remember in the pandemic when Roy Keane went on that rant with Patrice Evra, and Patrice Evra was trying to stick up for him against Spurs, saying, oh, you know, he's not as bad as you're saying. And I was actually more with Roy Keane because of what I'd seen. Your eyes don't lie to you. This guy was making howlers, throwing them into his own net, really bad decision-making, poor with his defence and command of his area. And I don't think it's really got any better for him until last season where, like you say, Dan, he was getting pelted throughout most of the time and pulling off some good saves, and everybody thought perhaps it was rosy again. What I will say, unless you buy a new goalkeeper and put him as a number one, you're stuck with De Gea, because I don't think anyone's going to be buying him, because he's on, isn't he on like 400 grand a week?
He's on 350. On
375,
yeah. Mad bags a week, and I think he's got 2 years left in his deal with an option of another year. So they're stuck with him. Nobody's buying David De Gea. Nobody is touching David De Gea with a stick. And it's not even just De Gea as well. The attack are just out of sorts. Ronaldo doesn't want to be there. Didn't really get much service, and the service he did get, he put some shots on target. But you could say that he should have done better with 1 or 2 chances. Rashford, I don't even know anymore. Like, he's meant to be a good player in his day, but he's literally given Man United nothing but energy. just running and doing nothing with the ball. Like, Man United are out of sorts. Their team is terrible, absolutely terrible, 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 terrible. Bruno Fernandes, ghost. Fred didn't play that well. And when you look at the options off the bench, McTominay coming on and having yet another disaster class cameo, like, they're just bad. And then that takes us onto the board. This team are bleeding. You've just brought in a new manager that you want to build this project around, and look at the tools that they've given him to work with. Of course, yeah, you can question some of the players that Ten Hag wants. Like, we'll laugh about the Arnautovic's, we'll laugh about the Rabios, and even the Cody Gakpos, etc. So there are some questionable players that Ten Hag is trying to make a beeline for, but fundamentally, there's no money to spend there on the players that he needs to improve this team. And Man United are so muddied that they can't even secure this guy even second or third choice targets that can improve this team. We're now in the second or third week of August. He's still only on 4 signings they've made this summer. One is a 30-year-old One's a 30-year-old Christian Eriksen. The other is Malacia, who looks good, to be fair, and the other is Lisandro. What about the rest of the midfield? Been chasing Frankie de Jong all summer, and yet you've got no contingency plan. You can only work on one deal at a time. So they've needed an attacker all summer. Nobody's coming. Yeah, like, it's a complete mess. It's a complete mess. So the powers that be have to look themselves in the mirror. Like, they put people in positions of power who fundamentally don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to spend money. They don't know how to recruit players. They don't have a good attitude when it comes to selling players. They're just bad.
It's not just that, though. It's the stadium as well. Tobes. Like, the stadium's in a right state. They won't spend any money at all. They won't. It's laughable. It's almost as laughable as Lawless's face, because I know exactly what's coming. I'm
loving it. Tobes is sitting there, he's saying all this stuff, which is true, and I'm like thinking, oh bless, who gives a shit? Good. It's beautiful. Like, honestly, all of you Man United fans that jumped on the bandwagon in the Fergie years, trebles, all of that, oh, give me some of that. I'm set up for a lifetime of glory. That's right, and I can lord it over everyone else. Oh, you're a West Ham fan. What do you know about success? We're Man United. We chose this team because they're the best. Now, where are you? Where's Man United now?
We're still a fair few trophies ahead of you, Lawless. We're still far ahead of you, mate.
Yeah, and you can sit there. You can dine on those memories all you like, Dad. You can sit there and remember all the trophies, because the future is so bleak. And it is so beautiful. Your stadium's crumbling, your team's crumbling, and it couldn't happen to a better fan base. That's
it is glorious, isn't it? We haven't discussed it, but it's beautiful to watch. United ruined my childhood. I got into football when Ronaldo three-peated and Moscow and everything like that. So to see the reverse, it's brilliant, even though we still can't fucking beat United in the league. But I won't say too much.
This is the season. This has got to happen. Like, this season, I'm sure Chelsea are going to... I
said that last season. And then Carrick came and stole a draw at the Bridge. And then we just handed one straight back to them at Old Trafford. We always turn into bums against them every time.
Boy,
we're trying to loan... It's that bad. We're trying to loan Pulisic.
You guys too.
We're trying to loan Pulisic. That's how bad it's got. We don't want to buy him. We want to loan him.
Send CR7 the other way. We need a goal scorer. So you help us, we help you. All of that.
That's embarrassing, by the way. That is embarrassing, by the way. What is Pulisic? Yeah.
No, exactly nothing, mate. Exactly. And this is it. The signings that are being... I've been on Twitter all day today looking, thinking, right, who can I tick off the list now that we're being linked with? It's desperation. And the thing is, even the desperation signings with LinkedIn wouldn't want to come to us. That's the big thing here. What player wants to come to United?
That's a great point, because who wants to walk into this mess at the moment in any level? Yeah. In any level, in terms of, apart from an owner who can completely change things, who wants to walk in? Because when you look at it, the owner will come in and have his own thing and think, do you know what, doesn't matter to me how long it takes. It will take some time, but I can do this. I can splash the cash. Board members, managers, players, coaching staff, who wants to go there at the moment? That is not an attractive.
This is the thing, Potts. You and Tobes have a lot of chat for me about Kostic, this, that, and the other. But Man United probably right now have the worst pool of any of us. Like, They're just the pool is for a club that was that.
I said
that
Werner
markets
rejected them, by the way. Timo Werner.
Wow.
Lack of shame. That is ridiculous.
Jeez. The club that markets themselves as the biggest club in the world just cannot sign the likes of Werner and Arnautovic and just all of these washed players. Ah,
No,
mate.
wait, Arnautovic
Where's
said
where's
no.
their scout? Go on, Lewis.
Did Arnautovic say no?
I
No,
think so.
no. We said
Bologna said no. Bologna said no.
Luckily, we said no to that. But the other thing as well is, I don't know if you saw it. I promise you, I won't go on much more with this because I don't think my heart can take it. Reports come out today that the dressing room are already moaning about Ten Hag's coaching. What does that say to you about the players?
Oh, I love it.
What's this say? What's this say?
You guys are
There's
such
so
a
much
mess.
work to do, man.
I thought
There's
we were badly.
man.
Because it was
Talk about
Ragnick.
transition.
They didn't like Ragnick's training and Ragnick's methods, did they? And then they just want Uncle Ollie back. That's what they want.
Yeah.
Uncle Ollie back. Lets them do what they want. Like, it's just, and I can't
It is
see.
mad.
This is the problem. Like, you can sign, like, the amount of players that you can realistically get between now and the end of the season. Say you signed like 3-4 players. Is that enough to undo all the toxicity that's in this team and to turn things around? Or are they just going to get infected by
Lawless,
all of the
that's the thing,
players that
mate.
are all there?
That's the thing. For the 3 or 4 players that you bring in, you have to remove 3 or 4 players. It's as simple as that. Because if you I completely agree with exactly what you're saying there. If you bring new players in, it will just build and build and build. It's as simple as that. I get rid of it. Honestly, when Ranić said 10 transfers, he was sacked. He didn't leave. He was sacked. He was sacked.
And that's the thing. Like, you can't get rid of these players.
The truth.
Wan-Bissaka, I'm seeing
money.
he's going for 10 mil. 10 mil for Wan-Bissaka. How much they spend on him? 60, 70?
50.
50 was it? Yeah, and he's going for 10 mil. Jeez. That is, it's a mess.
It is a mess, top to bottom, and
yeah, and Tobes was all saying like, yeah, they're getting top 6, they're finishing ahead of West Ham, they're gonna do this. Let's not just get on Dan's case about Dixon top 4. Let's talk about Tobes, Mr.
Where are you in the table?
Top 6.
Where are you in the table?
Oh, sorry, we're above Man United. That's where we are.
Well, how many
above
points?
Man United?
Goal difference. Goal difference.
No,
you're crazy.
We were
crazy.
No,
Listen,
but wait a minute.
We're talking about Man United standards in relation to the top 6, not to the rest of the league.
Sorry, what's that got to do with context? What kind of context is that? Man United standards.
It means that them being this bad is not a good thing in terms of their aspirations to finish top 4, possibly top 6, but it still means they can finish above you.
No, but we're not saying they can. You said they will.
They will. Yeah.
I still think we'll finish above you, Lawless. Lawless, I've got no concern about finishing above you.
You literally just went on a massive tangent about how all the players are a disgrace. They're not motivated. They don't give a shit.
But Lawless. We finished 6th last season. Piss poor. We didn't finish 12th. We didn't finish 13th. We didn't finish 8th. We finished 6th. And that's the thing. I know United are in a shit. United are in a shit situation. But the thing is, they are too big. They are too big to not come back. They will come back. It might take time. It might be a case of new ownership, which we're all praying for. But of course they'll come back. Of course they will.
Listen, Dan. Without Ronaldo's goals last season, right? You would have been comfortably bottom half.
I hear you.
Now, this season,
I hear you.
Ronaldo wants out. Ronaldo's not coming back for this dream return, this, that, and the other like he had last season. Ronaldo's checked out, man.
I hear it.
He's done. So he's not going to be bailing, and he hasn't been bailing you out. He's been poor because he don't want to be there. So
I hear it.
Where's that? Where is the play? So where Ronaldo saved you last time and was banging goals? Who is that player this season that is going to rescue you in games? That is the question.
Mate, honestly, I completely agree with that. But the only thing that I can sort of cling on to, fucking hell, dare I say, is that we've still got 2 weeks left of the transfer window. Now, you can laugh at that because I do too. At the end of the day, your business should be done before the first game of the season. It should be. All this bollocks about going till the end of August, it's embarrassing because a proper football club gets their business done. Their business is done. They're ready to go. That's the only thing I'm holding on to, mate. That's the only thing I'm holding on to is the fact that we'll bring someone in. But again, history will repeat itself. Falcao, remember we brought him in to sort it all out. Awful. Do you know what I mean? Di Maria brought him in to it's poor signings, it's poor players, it's just a virus. But
Di Maria wasn't poor.
Sorry?
Di Maria wasn't poor.
Tobes, he was. He was poor.
He wasn't.
He was. Tobes, he was poor. Hated him.
You're saying he's successful at Man United, Tobes. Is that what you're telling me?
Not successful, but I don't think he was poor.
Well, if he wasn't a success, he's a failure. So he was poor for Man United.
Why can't he be in the middle? Why does it have to
be? He wasn't, no, Tobes. He was remembered for that one goal against Leicester. He was awful. He was awful.
I don't know about that, but fine.
Dan, what, like, honestly, like, let's look at this to wrap up because I want to move on to West Ham before we come into Chelsea Spurs. But Dan, like, your statement about Man United top 4, like, it looks crazy now. The first 2 games, the pre-season you had at the time, you were happy about it. Like, where did that come from? That statement, that love, that confidence, and what are your thoughts now, like, in terms of a position for Man United this season?
So it come from the stupidity of thinking that these players could change, their attitudes could change. Pre-season's pre-season. Getting back at Old Trafford in front of the fans. The fans know exactly what they're about, know exactly who doesn't do what they should be doing, and they've crumbled. So it was through a whole. The positivity was, look, these players have got yet another chance to try and do it, but they're out of chances. They're completely out of chances. I don't know where they think they go from here. As with respect to top 4, I will. We're awful. I know that, and I know I'm contradicting everything I say. But when I say something, I have to stick with it. So I'll take the banter. I'm probably going to be nowhere near it, but I'm going to stick with top 4 because, as I say, there's 2 weeks left. We'll see what happens. And guys, when we do finish top 4, you're paying for my holiday when we go away.
You know what, Lawless. I retract what I said about Man United and West Ham. Maybe you can finish above West Ham because I can't have the other Dan saying this. Like, there was literally no chance of Man United getting top 4 this season. There's no chance. It's not going to happen, Dan. You can see your
Tobes. I know it's not. I'm just saying. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with it because I've got to stick with my maths. I've got
blind faith, and I understand it.
Hope. It's hope. It's hope. Not belief. It's hope.
That's what kills you. That is what kills you.
The hopes that kills you. Talking about being killed, Lawless, how did you get on at the weekend, bro?
You know, it's one of them games, isn't it? You have them. We was unlucky at the end of the day. We shouldn't be losing to them. Some of the players were poor for us, but ultimately, just the way the game went, it was everything that could go against us did go against us. The amount of times we wanted to hit the crossbar, you know, the goal that got ruled out. It was just one of them games, and it just weren't our day. It was crazy. You had flipping the handballs that probably should have been red cards. Declan Rice, you know, I can't believe we didn't even talk about this on the other show. Declan Rice, I love him, but he should not be taking penalties, right? You wouldn't put Declan Rice in goal. Don't put Declan Rice on penalties. Don't get him to do something. Ben Rama banged penalties for Brentford. He was having the form of his life. He got a goal just robbed out of his record. He should have taken it. He scored that winning penalty against Man City, you know, with all the pressure on him, had to score, or the game would go on.
Penalty from Rice.
Yeah, it was shit. And the thing is, you see Lingard telling Henderson he's going that way, down there. So it was just predictable. There was no conviction in it. Not like when you see Noble step up and he just thunders it into the back of the net. It was just
didn't against United, mate, when he got subbed on last season, if I remember.
But that's because he was subbed on to take a penalty. If you had 90 minutes of Noble behind it, mate, that would have went in. But Rice, that pissed me off.
You're supposed to be selling Ben Rama. I thought he looked really good, man. Is that nonsense? Like, get rid of him. Surely that's a good player for you, man.
We can't be getting rid of Ben Rama. Honestly, the guy ran the show. I've always had faith in him. Moyes, There's all this doubt over was he a Moyes signing? What did the board just because he wanted Eze? Moyes really wanted Eze. Didn't get Eze. Then they were like, boom, Ben Rama was available, so we got Ben Rama. And I've always liked him. He was third highest goal contributions for us last season. Dipped after AFCON. I think AFCON killed his confidence because of the manager didn't seem to favour him, and now that guy's been sacked. Good. So yeah, we'd be mad to sell him. We need to have faith in him. He's a confidence player. Keep playing the man. Keep playing the man. Yeah.
Lawless. But I think Moyes has got history with this as well, hasn't he? With if it's a player brought in he doesn't want, he just doesn't fancy him, does he?
Yeah, that seems to be it. Vlasic, I think, was a panic buy. Barely got to play now. He's loaned out to Torino. Alex Crowell literally was just talking about the toll that playing at the club took on his mental health and, you know, coming out training in tears and all sorts of things. So this is a big issue. So this is why this window, I don't want to hear any of this bullshit like this is a Moyes player, this is a Sullivan player. If you don't want to play it, then just say it or take the player and play them, utilize them, actually coach these players. Antonio, I think he needs to go back on the wing. We've got Scamacca now. Cornet can play there. Put Antonio back on the wing. He's not doing it up front. He was getting very frustrated. Arguably cost us a goal. So it's one of them games. Look, this does not define us.
Antonio. What was Antonio doing there, by the way?
Listen, like he thought he would run in late to the box and he would get his goal. He should have just stayed back and let Ben Rama do his thing. But he runs. You could see he was getting frustrated all game because the guy had his number, was getting in front of him. You know what I mean? Blocking him, getting in the way. Antonio, he was drawing the foul from him all game, and Antonio got pissed off. You could see he pushed him off like, get the fuck off me. And then all of a sudden our goal gets ruled out, whether you think rightly or wrongly. Antonio put us in that situation. Yeah, so it was bullshit. We had Cornet come on late. Like a lot of our new signings just aren't ready yet. So the team's still stale. It needs freshening up. We had a right back at centre back. Now we've just signed Kura from PSG. Hopefully address that situation. So look, we are not in Man United's position. This is what I said earlier. We are not the same, right? We both have 0 points. That is correct, right? But Man United have been getting battered for the last 2 weeks. Their teams are shambles, no cohesion, all of that stuff. Like, we just need some freshen up on the squad, get a few people up to scratch fit. We're going to be fine. Like, we're nowhere near the same. Our team are still motivated. They're still united. So yeah, I listen. I think while Man United, I think why Dan United could be relegated to the Fight for Survival show. I think it's early doors for me. I think I have give me some time. I said we would start slow.
What is this?
Listen, I said we'd start slow. And this is what I don't get. The confidence that people can say, Man United are going to finish above West Ham just because of their name recognition. Literally, that's it. Because they're Man United.
No, it's not because of that.
It's not because of that.
It's because as poor as the squad is, they still have enough quality to sneak in the top six.
Come on, give me that quality. Let me hear the quality. Tell me the quality. What's the quality?
You don't think Sancho can improve his form? You don't think he's a quality player? You don't think he can improve from playing like absolute garbage right now? You don't think Rashford can improve? If Ronaldo stays, you don't think he's going to score?
This is a lot of like big.
If Martial stays, you don't think he's going to? Yeah, but all these issues.
What have they showed us though over the past year?
But Lawless, you keep saying this. It was the same last season. A lot of these things that happened against Man United happened last season, and they still finished above you. So there's literally evidence that.
Literally, but by a whisker, and they're worse now. I'm saying they're in a worse position this season than they were last season, right? Mm-hmm. So the point is, they finished above us by 2 points. 2 points. That was it. We had to just turn one loss into a draw.
Ten Hag, you don't think maybe he can help? He can help.
I think he's in way over his head. Dan just said earlier about them not liking his training methods and shit like that. The problem is, if he don't start turning things around soon, they start losing faith in him. If they already seem to be losing faith in him, then that faith starts to get a lot more misplaced and mistrusted, and it just gets worse. The whole situation exacerbates. So how you can look at it and going, oh, Ten Hag could make them better. Sancho could get better. Rashford could get better. What kind of basis is
flawless.
prediction?
The difference is this time. The difference this time is, mate, fans have always gone, back the players. We need to change the management. We need to change the management. It's different this time. The fans know exactly what the problem is. It's not the manager, and they will give that manager a lot more time than the players. They will turn on those players now every fucking week if they have to, and that's what they need to do.
Is that going to make them play? Is they going to go, the fans are on us? Shit, I better drop a 10 out of 10 this week. That's not going to do nothing.
Mate, they've got away with it for so long. Honestly, the players have got away with so much for so long that it has to change. And I actually think it's right. I think it's time.
Why is it changing now? Why is it changing now? Because we've known, rival fans, we've known this for years. Why is it the change now for United?
Do you know what it is? I honestly think the Ranić thing has fucked a lot of United fans off. I honestly think Ranić coming out speaking truth. You think about. I don't know if you remember when we had this show when Ranić took over last season. Sorry.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but they didn't. A lot of United fans didn't necessarily believe Ranić initially. Or am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong, mate. But it's like that bird that you pull on a night out and you think, oh, I can do better, and she walks away. You end up handing on for the rest of the night. You think, fuck, should have kept that one. That's exactly where United fans are now. That's exactly where United fans are.
I think you're talking about a different United fans. I think you feel like you're talking about the social media Man United fans. Because I seem to remember last season, the top Reds that go every week in, week out, when you were still getting battered, was sending Ollie at the wheel when you were shit. They were supporting Ollie while all the social media fans were screaming Ollie out, Ollie out. The ones that go were still singing his name. So this is why I've listened. You could see it every week. They were supporting. I probably it was the Liverpool game. Might have been the straw that broke the camel's back. But they stuck with Ollie way longer than the social media Man United fans. And I think there's a division there.
And why was that?
Sentiment,
exactly.
But this is the thing. Ten Hag doesn't have this sentiment with those fans, and I think you're right. I think they will be patient with him, but I don't think that's going to do anything. I don't think patience is gonna with Ten Hag is going to solve the problems. The players, a lot of the players aren't good enough.
Lawless, you think West Ham are going to finish above Man United this season?
Listen, I think if you had to put money down, I would put West Ham above Man United. I think our squad, while they have, right, on paper, look at this smile. Look at the way he's smiling here. On paper, right, they have these better players in certain positions. Remember what I said to you, Tobes, about you and Chelsea? Spurs have a more balanced squad team than Chelsea. But what I'm saying is we have more balance, right? Even the better players that they have on paper haven't been performing. Rashford, how is Rashford suddenly going to become this great player again? It's been a long time. Sancho, why are we betting on him?
2 years.
I'm actually going to give you a rare W. I'm going to give you a rare W. You've made your point. Fine. I retract my statement.
No, I was going to say.
Can we say West Ham are finishing? I want to hear him say West Ham are finishing above Man United. I have to hear that.
No, I'm just retracting my statement that Man United will finish above West Ham. I think it's uncertain now because I thought they would sign players. They've not done any of these things. So
you said De Gea's finished. De Gea's shit.
Yeah, but Lawless, I thought they were going to sign players.
They might get Pulisic. I don't know.
Yeah, that's gonna just really fucking. Oh my god, Pulisic.
I'm gonna wait till the end of the transfer window to decide what I just think we lost to Man City 2-0, right? Oh, big disaster. Then, okay, Nottingham Forest, we should win that game, right? Yes, there was extenuating circumstances, but I'm not making excuses. It's a bad result, but that's one bad result at the start of the season. And I think the overall performance, it showed promise at times, and we was poor at finishing, even though Benrahma put the ball in the back of the net. But I didn't see anything where you can go, shit, this West Ham team's going to struggle this season.
You know,
The
we've
only thing I'd
signed it-
say, Lawless, while Moyes is not playing your new signings, that's for me the only one. Like in
That's
terms of
just-
starting them, they're ready
Yeah,
to
he
start,
just
man.
don't. He just don't feel, and they've said it. Like they literally just had a press conference. They're new into the team, new to the season. They don't feel that the new signings are ready. It's not they don't believe in them or don't think that they're good. He just does that. He just slow burns them and wants to start to integrate them. So he's done it with near enough every signing that we've made. And I think Kura is going to be an exception to the rule. I think he might go in straight away against Viborg FF. So yeah, look, I just think, look, we're going to get more signings, and those signings aren't coming into an absolute mess like the new signings that Man United are going to make.
No,
Those signings
Lawless,
are
I
coming
agree
into
with
a
that.
harmonious
I agree
squad.
with that, mate. I agree with that 100%.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I go back to when I said who wants to come and who's actually going to change it. That is, I completely agree with you. I agree. I can't argue with that.
Yeah, I just think our squad is more.
Lawless, before I move
forward.
to Lewis and Tobes, your madness statement about Areola being the signing of the season. He's got to start playing soon, man. What's going on, man?
He's going to be playing tomorrow against Viborg FF, right? He's playing.
Like Cyborg United, yeah.
He's listen. He's. Do you know what? Do you know what? We're both in a lose-lose here, because if we play Viborg FF, right, and we lose that game, a Viborg FF win, you gotta respect Viborg FF. Although I'm gonna get trolled, but you're gonna look bad for disrespecting them because maybe they're a good team. You know, I wish there'd be some Viborg FF fans to come in the comments and just roast you guys with how you're treating.
How are they gonna roast us?
Yeah,
1896 they've been going for.
Oh wow!
You know,
so
18.
Why does the length of time matter here? If they're
historic football club, mate.
Pardon?
It's a historic football club.
I'm not even gonna bite, man.
But listen, Areola will play. He's the future. He is the future keeper. That's without a shadow of a doubt, right?
How old is he?
Again, he's 28, 29. So in keeper years, you know, he's like fucking 21. So, you know, I don't see the big... We all want Areola to start. But I don't see like the big, oh shit, like we've just paid money in this keeper. He don't fancy him. It's going to be a disaster. Nah, like Moyes just does it. He thinks.
Let's see what Moyes does, because he needs to mold them in, man, soon. Because Skamaka, in my opinion, Cornet, obviously Areola. You've signed the new guys now, and you link with more players. I think they need to come in. And Souček, by the way, like that Flynn Downs better be good, because Souček, I'm with Tobes, is starting to look exactly what Tobes said, which is a donkey.
His passing stats are good, Flynn Down. So listen, you'll like him, Tobes. He's got good passing.
I'm sure Tobes will be sleep well tonight.
I thought Souček had good passing.
Had past tense. Had.
He's never
Still
had.
walks into the United squad, doesn't he?
He's
Still
never
walks
had
into the United team. Fucking hell.
Yeah, he would walk into Man United's team. That's true. He would actually start for Man United. So,
let's not even go there. Let's just not even go there, man. Lewis, man, you've been waiting patiently in the wings, and I was going to come to this game first, man, because of the absolute disaster that we saw at the weekend in terms of refereeing. I'm just going to hand the mic over to you, Lewis. Why are you so frustrated as a Chelsea fan, bro?
More because Chelsea actually played a good game for the first time in ages. Like, usually we look terrible, but we actually turned up for this one. I thought we were very good first man to last. Should have got the result, but it's refereeing errors that were the difference between us, and that's the most frustrating part. For the first time, I'm not looking at the players and saying you guys directly cost us the result because you weren't good enough. They were much better than Spurs on the day, and we dominated for practically all of the match. There was refereeing errors that were the difference between the two sides. It's as simple as that, really. Like, I understand Tottenham take the draw, it is what it is. You got a point in a big London derby. I totally understand that. The frustration isn't from directed towards Spurs. It's directed towards the refereeing. It's directed towards VAR because they didn't do their job, and that's the reason why we dropped points. But is what it is. Is what it is.
Do you not think
they didn't get what they deserved?
Referees, this is the thing that's irritated me for such a long time. They should be made to come out and talk about his decisions. They should be made to come out and talk about these mistakes they make. A player comes out, you know, De Gea, we've just absolutely battered him for the last, since the dawn of time. He comes out, takes the L, holds his hand up. Referees don't. and it really fucks me off.
Do you know what though, right? I hate to say this, right? But Mike Dean actually made a very good point about this, because he said, when asked why don't referees come out and talk about when they've made mistakes and decisions, he's like, well, because no one would want to hear from us when we have a good game and ask about decisions we got right. People only would want to grill us on what we got wrong. So
see, I'd understand that, but if you did it in a way like the referee has a post-match interview after every game, you can discuss the good and the bad, because they would sometimes come in for interviews when they've done nothing wrong and they've had a good game. I agree. And then you could rightfully praise them for that. You just
and then when you say about them being praised, then they do get the opportunity to ask, "Oh, it was a good decision. You let play flowed out. It led to a goal." That I think you could utilize it in that way. I agree with Lewis on that, but they need to come out and start explaining these decisions, because it's just getting laughable. They've got all the technologies helping them.
They might listen. You probably would have come out and he'd say and said, "Listen, like Daniel Levy put a big deposit in my bank account. What could I do?
Referees have their own ulterior motives. They always do.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Mark Plattenberg literally came out and said, for the Battle of the Bridge, I did not want to send off a Spurs player because they would blame me for bottling the league title. Well, you say bottling, but for losing the game, innit? So they do come into these games with their own ulterior motives, and that is literally fact. So you can look at a referee and say, did you really do your job, or were you moving shady or something like that? Because they're protected enough that if you even say something, you'll get punished over the referee that had the shocking performance.
Do you know what?
Was a shocker for me.
You could actually do. Sorry, Dan.
Now go on.
So you've got VAR. Why not VAR? Why don't mic up VAR instead of having to go to the referee? Why not go to the referee and say, right, why have you made that decision? Do you know what I mean? There's so many things that they could do to explain to us why these decisions aren't being given, or why these decisions are being given. Do you know what I mean? Instead of us sat there thinking, what the hell are we watching here?
Yeah,
this one was a shocker for me. This one was a complete and utter shocker. I don't know how that's not a foul. He's grabbed man by the hair and dragged him down. Like, it's absolutely mad.
It's the second goal that's the biggest thing to me. The first one, I think the Havertz foul, it's a 50-50. I'm not really too fussed about that. The Richarlison offside, I think VAR should have clocked. But the second one, first off, Anthony Taylor's literally got his eyes on the incident, hasn't seen it. VAR, you have 6 fat, massive plasma screen TVs in front of your eyes and you can't see a hair pull. That is ridiculous. That was the problem for me. It was the second one. The first one, it's annoying, but it is what it is. But 2 goals because of 2 refereeing errors.
And that's the consistency.
It happens every year.
How is Antonio's ruled off for a coming together barge, but that Romero is not? He's literally pulling it by a hair, and that's not being done. They use VR for one and say, "Yep, they've ruled that off," and they don't use VR here.
That's not a consistency thing. That's just terrible refereeing. It's not a consistency.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just terrible refereeing. Antonio's was a blatant foul. He's literally just ran into a man. And Romero should have been a foul as well. Romero snatched off Cucurella's wig, and I couldn't give 2 shits. He snatched off Cucurella's wig.
I don't blame you. Man.
He didn't get booked. He didn't get sent off. Chelsea didn't get a free kick, and we get another corner, and we score. Delicious.
I'd be the exact same thing. I totally understand it. It's a London derby, and Chelsea fans are going to be pissed about this result for years. So I don't blame you. Drinking the soul, it is what it is, but it doesn't change the fact we lost a win because of poor refereeing.
Yeah,
that's
and
still
Tobes, you won't be lucky every week, Tobes. Like, the refs ain't gonna help you every week.
Why do we have to be lucky like that every week?
I'm saying is, you might look at things differently. We might be talking about Spurs in a different light if you lose that game 2-0 like you should have.
I don't care about the way people would be talking. Well, I say I don't. Sometimes I do. But the point I'm making is this: people don't care when we've been hard done by referees. No one cares. No one cares.
No one cares whenever any one club is. It's only that club.
Exactly. So that was my rebuttal to what Lawless is saying. Yeah. Where was your fury when we had our goal disallowed against Sheffield United, when the ball ricochets off Lucas Moore's arm? He's on the ground. The ball gets blasted at his arm. Yeah. Ball gets blasted at his arm. And the resulting ricochet falls to Harry Kane. He scores. Our goal gets chalked off, and we lose the game 3-1. Where was your sympathy when Eric Dyer wasn't even handling the ball, The ball touches
Newcastle
get a last minute penalty, undeserved point. Where was your fury? Where was your
No,
anger?
because
What
I'm saying is
the point I'm making is when it goes against us, I don't see this fury. I don't see this fury. All I see is Spurs are bottle jobs. Ha ha ha. Let's laugh at Spurs. But when it works in our favor, oh, they're so lucky. They're this, they're that. No.
yeah, but you're the narrative you're trying to spin.
When you actually look, I'm not trying to spin anything.
You know the narrative. You're coming out that going. We battled.
You are talking.
There's
no narrative. There's no narrative being spun. I've not disagreed with anything Lewis has said. We were lucky. We didn't play well. We were lucky to get a point, but we got a point, and I'm happy with that. I've not disagreed with anything he said.
I don't blame you.
I just find it hilarious. You're talking about, oh, you can't play like this every week. We don't play like this every week. We don't play like this every week.
No, I'm just saying.
I've said you guys have a mental block coming to the bridge. That's why I thought Tottenham fans were too overconfident going into this game. You guys just struggle at the bridge.
I respected the fixture, and I respected the magnitude of the game, and I respected Chelsea's side. All week I was saying I'd be happy with a point, and I got pelters. And it's what we said.
I wouldn't blame you for saying that. Like a lot of Spurs fans were saying differently. I don't blame you for saying that.
So for me, yeah, like, yeah, we got away with one. Thomas Tuchel, he's got this hold over Antonio Conte in the league. Like, I don't know what it is. Conte, I think he did well to adjust the team in the second half, but the way he set us up in the first half, it was ridiculous. Like from minute 6, minute 7 onwards, it was one-way traffic. I think if Chelsea actually had more cutting edge, then I think that game would have been done, irrespective of whatever decisions would have been made by the manager. But I got to rate our resilience as well. We didn't play well, but we still were able to manufacture a reasonable amount of opportunities to score goals. And in the end of the day, that's 2 goals scored at Stamford Bridge. Yeah, we had a helping hand towards the end with Romero not being sent off, because if they had that free kick, then the second corner doesn't happen and they probably try and see out the game. But
it was like a minute left, I think.
Yeah. But I think with us, it's progress. Like, fair enough, the performance wasn't what I wanted. I was disappointed in the performance, but the result, I'd rather play shit and get a point at Stamford Bridge than play okay and get 0 points, honestly.
Yeah, I totally get you. It's the same when you go away to derbies. Like, you're always going to be against it. You guys were resilient to a point. I still think, like, in spite of the way that we played, like, we still struggle in the final third to build up and create chances. Havertz could have scored his chance. Sterling should have scored his chance. But I can't blame any of them because I think they all played well. The problem to me was simply put the refereeing decision in the 96th minute. But is what it is. Is what it is.
And I want some credit. I want some credit for Harry Kane as well. He missed the first chance he had, clean through and goal. I couldn't believe he missed that. So that was one. Sessegnon had a chance. Son had a half chance, but he gets the clutch equalizer right at the death, and
it was clutch. But I still think he played poorly. I didn't see him.
No, he did. But
good strikers score goals, though, don't they? Good strikers score goals.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying praise him because he played well. I think he was. I don't think we played well. I think we were crap. Our attack was nullified. Our midfield was smothered. Our defense was smothered. Chelsea tactically did a job on Spurs, but we changed our shape. We were able to get some more shots at goal. But fundamentally, the point I'm making is Harry Kane got the vital goal to get us the point. And beyond that, what I haven't seen that's been mentioned is he's now gone joint fourth in the Premier League all time.
Has he?
Top score. Yeah. He's joint fourth with Aguero now, and he's the outright highest Premier League goal scorer away from home. If you look at his goal to game ratio in terms of goals he scored away from home, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And people in the comments saying it was no goal. Come on, stop being salty. Like, go watch the replays again. The ball is clearly still going in, which is why it was given to Harry Kane. And I want to spare thought for the options that Spurs have off the bench now if we wanted to change the game. Granted, Chelsea still dominated the ebb and flow of the match, but bringing on Richarlison gave them way more problems than we were giving them in the first half. Bringing on the likes of Perisic puts 2 peaches of corners on Dyer's head and Harry Kane's head as well. We move, man. We take the point. we see the importance of having quality off the bench to come and try and change the game in your favor. Yes, we got fortunate with Anthony Taylor, but sometimes you need luck. When it goes
Can we
against,
just have a
when
have a
it
big
goes
shout out
against
to can we get a big shout out to Eric Kai in the comments for clarifying that Cucurella doesn't wear a wig? Just needed that one clearing up there. Thanks, Eric.
he knows what I meant, man. Figure of speech, man. He snatched his wig off. Yeah.
Listen, the way I see it is this. I thought Chelsea played really well. I went into the game expecting to be impressed by Tottenham, and as I was unimpressed by Chelsea against Everton, but it was the other way around for me. I thought Chelsea looked really good, and I think it just proves that people shouldn't be dancing on Chelsea's grave too soon. I was really impressed with a few players in particular. I know he needed to clear his lines for the goal, but I thought Jorginho was sick, particularly in the first half.
Mhm.
I thought everything was that Tottenham couldn't get near him. I thought he was great. Kante likewise. I actually did rate Kai Havertz's performance. I know that you've bought him to score goals, but I liked what he did. He caused a nuisance. He was strong. He was physical presence. He linked up play well. He held the ball up. He was a nuisance, right? I'm not a huge fan of him. I can't lie, Lewis, but
I still say I need to see a lot more from him. But he had a good game against Tottenham. He had a much better game than I've seen from him in months.
That's all I'm giving him credit for. Like,
that's the thing. I need to see him
class,
build on that. I need to see consistency from him. I completely agree with you on that. He had a good game. A lot of players did. My only thing is this again, like you're talking about as well. It was Tottenham. We have played worse squads against Tottenham and still performed. We just turn up for that fixture all the time. Great. Right. Now Leeds is next. Now Leicester's next. Now Southampton's next. I want the same performance. I want the same work rate, the same drive, the same intensity, the same quick passing. Because I haven't seen that in ages. If you don't show me that in the future games, then cool, it's a mentality problem because you only turn up when you choose to turn up. And that goes for the whole squad. But I need to see that same performance against Spurs in multiple games now because that's the best I've seen Chelsea play in ages. So I totally agree on that.
Yeah, I thought Reece James was class. I thought Koulibaly, I said to Tobes and Lawless and Matista, I had question marks over the signing just for a personal thing that I had a couple of years ago with Koulibaly where I mad overrated him and then he got put into a pretzel by a few Arsenal players that I didn't even really rate. So I thought maybe he may have an issue in this league, and I think he's answered my questions already that he's going to be absolutely fine and more than fine. So I was really quite impressed. But I want to get some honest reaction from the panel here because Tobes knows my fault. I'm not getting involved in this anymore because I had a chat with Tobes yesterday about this. But why is it that it's okay for Tottenham to celebrate a draw, but it's not okay for other clubs to celebrate in terms of the fan base? That's what I'm saying. When Arsenal over-celebrate, which we always do, I'm the first one to put my hands up and go, what the hell are we doing? We haven't won anything. We did it against Crystal Palace last season at Lacazette. We've done it a few seasons ago at the Bridge. We've done it a few seasons ago against Bournemouth. So I can hold my hands up and say it. But I come out and said, I see some fans absolutely celebrating this draw like a win. Harry Kane's come out in the interview and made the mistake of saying, it was a dramatic last-minute winner. Tottenham fans will be like, leave us alone. We can celebrate it if we want. So it's okay for one side to do it, but it's not. I'll start with you, Lawless, and I'll go around, and I'll, of course, let Tobes have his say. But do you think, like, that is a madness? Like, it seems it's like, keep away from Spurs. Like, we can celebrate if we want, but no one else fan base, when you do it, we're going to slate you. Am I being harsh there? Is that...
No, because Tobes' case in point. Massive hypocrite because when we beat them, well, we didn't beat them. See, I'm doing it now. But when we drew and we came back,
great start, Lawless.
I know it's rubbing off for me. It's the Spursiness. No, but when we got that last-minute equaliser against them for 3-3 at the time, I mean, Spurs was like, and Tobes, look how much you're celebrating it like you won the league. Tobes is going about bringing out mugs and stuff like that. Yeah,
you did have a mug. Not you,
what's wrong with that?
But your club.
You got a problem with that, Tobes? You got a problem with that mug? I thought it was okay to celebrate.
They made a mug, bro. They made a mug.
I
swear to God. I'm going to find the image now.
Listen.
Why would I make this up? Why would I make this up,
bro?
Listen, I think it was Spurs fans. They always make this merch, yeah? And we only ever see it when Spurs fans post this merch, like the treble T-shirt and all of that stuff.
I can say the same for you, though.
Listen, like, Tobes, what I'm saying is, let's hypothetically say we did make that mug. Tell me what's wrong with that. because you're the one who said, "Oh, why is everyone having a go? Why can't we celebrate? We never win at the Bridge, and we got a draw, and it was last minute. Blah blah blah. Leave us alone. Don't pick on little toes." And you want to talk to me about a mug?
You can't be serious.
Is that the line?
Brother.
Is that the line?
Wait. For starters, Potts, there is nothing wrong with Arsenal fans celebrating a draw. Yeah, if it's a last-minute equaliser. Yeah, the criticism that's been levied at Arsenal fans is over celebration. Nobody is saying
that's what I agree with.
Nobody is saying don't celebrate. So let's just put that into perspective. Nobody is saying don't celebrate, but there are specific matches, certain situations where we've seen massive over celebrations from your fan base, and it's not just about games. It's about players. It's about signings. It's about simple, random things. I remember Thomas Partey, for example, when he signed, there was literally a song and dance. Literally.
But so
I think that's what they just hype.
Missing the point, bro.
The point I make, one second, and I'll finish with this, and then I'll let you come in. The point I'm making with Spurs is, why can't Spurs fans at the stadium and watching from their TVs celebrate the fact that we've just snatched a last-minute point at Stamford Bridge? The only thing that I've seen that's excessive, and I've even said there's no need for this, is Basuma. I'm seeing Basuma going up to the fans and saying,
"Well brought up." I'm glad you brought that up.
All of that stuff is cringe. I didn't like. I like, you know how much I rate Basuma. I love Basuma, but when I saw that, I said that shit is corny. Why are you doing this? It's the second league game of the season. Yeah, fantastic. We're happy we got a point, but let's leave it at that and let's go. All of this, say your hello and bye to the fans and just keep it stepping.
And I think what my point is,
that's shocking, man. That's shocking what you just said there. I'm really surprised to hear that from you, Tobes, because when you look at it, he's a new signing coming into the side. He's just experienced the derby between Chelsea and Spurs. I can't believe I'm defending a Spurs player. Big atmosphere, all of that stuff. He's part of the team now, goes over, wants to get involved with the fans, all of that stuff. Like, is it that?
I was cringe, though, Lawless.
Lawless, that was cringe. It was more cringe.
He can do that without doing what he did. So he can easily do that without doing what he did.
Look at Liverpool.
Like, come on. All he can do is just go to the fans like, come on, yes. Hey,
you say that, but Liverpool, remember when they drew with West Brom or something? Yeah, that's a whole other level.
I said the same thing with Liverpool as well. It's cringe, it's corny, bro. It's mad.
Sometimes though, but think about it. Like we criticize a lot of players for not going over to the fans, all of that stuff. Like going over and interacting with the fans, it's a night. Like if you're at the game and you're there and your players coming over, and sometimes they'll give you they get in and like, we've had a great away day. Like them Spurs fans are buzzing, they're fucking bouncing, and he feels the energy, he's getting involved. You know, I don't think he's the worst offender. The way the Spurs fans, I think, are the worst offenders, because the way they've been sticking their chest out, giving smoke to Chelsea fans, right? You saw expressions. Expressions went on a whole cut promo, and Lewis, Matisse, everything. Yeah, Carlton Banks this and Smart Guy that. All of this stuff is like, you'd think that you won. You would think that you won.
Nope, he's cussing them out. And I said,
you can't do that.
I said, why can't he cuss them out? Why?
Because you robbed the draw. You weren't even the bet. You didn't deserve nothing. You was gifted it by the ref.
But what does that have to do with cussing him? When has he ever needed a point, 3 points, or no points to cuss Matisse? Did he not say what he said about Lewis? Did he not say what he said about Lewis and Matisse before the game? Has he not said?
But it was the tone.
Has he not said what he said about Lewis, Matisse, and co? Irrespective of
but it was the context around how he was saying it, as if take that, have that, look what we did. And that's what a lot of your fans were doing. That was indicative of a lot of your fans. I see your video when you were celebrating it and you was giving it. You was talking up a game.
Yeah, I'm taunting Chelsea fans because they thought they were going to win and they didn't win. It's the same thing you and your fan base did when you got the free draw out of ground. What is wrong with doing that? It's not over celebrating.
I taunted you because
it's not over celebrating. We are literally rattling them. Check my Twitter on the Sunday. I was literally posting tweets, getting at Chelsea fans, just putting the tweet on mute. It's not over celebrating.
No, listen. I'm just saying you're trying to banter them. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my gosh.
You're trying to banter them. Listen,
You're
expressions. I
you're
love the
trying to
guy, but
police X
I'm
for
saying you
doing stuff
can't
that he would
banter
do.
them.
You're trying to basically call X. You're trying to call what X did an over celebration, stuff that he does regularly. You're trying to call
Yeah,
what
but
I
I'm
do.
just
what I
saying
did
you
a
can't.
celebration, stuff that I'll do
You're trying to
regularly.
banter
So-
them. You're trying to give it to them.
Of course we are. Of course we're
when-
trying to banter them. We've just snatched the point that there are bitter rivals. Why wouldn't we try and banter them?
So
There
why
are-
are you getting onto
they know
Basuma?
we'll be fuming about that result. So
there are bitter rivals. There are bitter rivals. They deserve to win the match. They've been better than us, and we scored right at the death and snatched 2 points away from them. And it wasn't even all down to our own doing. It's down to referee mistake. Why
So
wouldn't we
you
ban-
so you
why
giving
wouldn't we
them
ban
smoke is okay, but Basuma going thanking the fans and celebrating with the fans is not okay. That's what I'm saying here.
Basuma can do whatever he likes. I just think it's corny. I think it's cringe.
So, but
I don't
what you did wasn't corny or cringe.
I don't think it was corny or cringe. That's called the game. The game is the game. When you don't get things that goes your way, you gotta hold that. When you get things that go in your favor, you can give it back. It's called banter, bro. You know this.
I'm just saying.
You
Like,
should know this. You're normally the butt of the joke. You should know this.
Listen. I'm never the butt of the joke. Listen,
Yes,
I'm
you
always
are.
making the
You
jokes
are-
at
you
your
are constantly-
expenses.
You're constantly the butt. So by your logic, you can't banter people when you get a result.
But
that
I'm
works
just
in your
saying,
favor.
don't get on
That's what you do.
Basuma's back, yeah? Don't give shit to Basuma when you're standing
I'm not
there
giving
trying to
shit to
give them
Basuma.
smoke
I'm not
and
giving
shit
shit
like
to
that, calling
Basuma.
him
I'm
corny
defending-
and cringe.
I'm not giving shit to Basuma. All I've said is for me, I thought it was cringe. How was that giving shit to Basuma? I've not.
You're calling him
lambasted
cringe.
him.
Who wants to be called cringe? Who wants to be
I said
called
what he did was
corny?
cringe. It was cringe. So what? So what? It's my opinion.
It is your opinion. In my opinion, you
I
haven't
want,
got a leg to
guys,
stand
I want you
on.
lot to remember. I want you lot to remember this. Yeah, I want you lot to remember this very clearly. I don't want to see any banter from this guy if West Ham get a result against any of our sides and it works out and whatever happens.
Toby.
I don't want to see any banter because by his logic, you can't say anything.
There's
Toby.
levels. I'm just
Toby,
saying you're
you
being a
won't
bit
need to.
hypocritical.
You won't need to, mate. You'll release a mug.
Listen, this Tobe's come out with this mug. I ain't seen this mug. I've been in the club shop. I ain't seen this mug. All I'm saying is it's good to banter and go, oh yeah, and give it. But I just feel like your fans, compared to Basuma, what you're saying about Basuma persecuting the poor guy for going over and going way, compared to like your fans, how much you've been sticking your chest out, acting like you're hot shots. I'm just saying, like, you can't get onto that poor guy just because he's feeling the energy. He's there in the ground. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Right, where is that? What's the source here? That could be photoshopped.
That could be photoshopped. I'm gonna send the article. Okay, cool.
Oh my god.
Just
Taylor's
a waste.
What is going on?
By the way, just want to add that.
You could get a mug.
Yeah,
for
do you know what? To be fair, Lewis, you've got a point there, man. And just lastly on Chelsea, because I just want to touch on Arsenal.
I'm going to buy that mug, by the way. I'm going to buy that mug. I'm buying it. I don't care. I'm going to show
please, Matt Lawless, if you
yeah,
buy that.
Just for Tobes.
Oh, my God.
I'm
Jesus
owning a
Christ.
Chelsea mug as well, so let's go.
Oh, my God.
So we can all we're going to have our mugs.
Oh, my God. Tobes has put it in the group, man, so we can bring this up next stream. Just quickly before we touch on Arsenal, Lewis, Chelsea, are you confident, mate? Because the way that you played and the way that Tuchel played against them, got a couple more signings to come in. Do you still think it'll be a decent season for you boys?
Again, all depends on the window. I'm not getting sold off a game against Tottenham. We did that all through January and thought we didn't need a left back because of it, and we shot ourselves in the foot. So I need to see how Chelsea play over the next few weeks. I need to see who comes in as well. If or when Fofana comes through, that would be me confident for top four, because as long as the back five's sorted for me, I have belief in the rest of the squad, even if the attack isn't all that. If we can get some forwards in, some midfielders as well, even better, even better. I think we're going to get a striker in at the very least. That should be enough to get us into top four for the season. But have to wait and see. I'm not saying nothing until the transfers come in. Plus, I can't go off just one Tottenham game when we didn't look good against Everton. Pre-season was iffy, and we ended last season poorly. So I'll see how Chelsea play over the next few weeks, and I'll make my assessment off that. But it was good performance, good performance.
I think that's fair, man. I think that's fair. Listen, before we wrap up, I literally want to get 20 seconds from each of you about Arsenal and Gabriel Jesus and your thoughts, whether they've changed in the first two games. Obviously, there's a long way to go about where Arsenal may finish this season. Might as well start with you, Lewis, and then we'll go around and then we'll wrap up. Lewis, what's your thoughts on Arsenal, mate?
Yeah, man, Arsenal look really good, really good. You guys battered Leicester City for long periods of that game. In terms of Arsenal throughout the season, like, you got every reason to be confident now, but again, I'd wait until the end of the window. I'd wait to see how Arsenal play when they have 2 games a week, because that's going to be the real question for me. Arteta had the 1 game a week and he still didn't get top 4, which was like mad to me, because I thought top 4 was there for the taking for basically half the season. I still don't really know how you guys messed up, but it is what it is. If you guys can handle the Thursday to Sunday load and everything, top 4 will be a nice race. Really will. Like, again, depending on our window as well, will depend on my confidence for it too. But I have to see a bit more from Arsenal, and I have to see more consistency throughout the season first, because I had you guys down for top 4, and you guys really surprised me with the fact you guys dropped it. So I need to see a bit more before I actually start believing in Arsenal. But good performance, really good performance.
No, I hear that. I think that's fair. Dan United, thoughts on Arsenal, bro?
It's been a slow process, this, but it's just the character. The goals you concede. You look back over the years, Arsenal prone to crumbling when this happens, but the belief in going back up the other end and scoring the goals that you did, having a goal scorer like Jesus, I've got to be honest with you, I've never really rated him. I think probably for the fact he was playing a bit behind an Aguero at the time, but he looks like he's completely galvanised that forward line. I think it's going to be a good season for Arsenal, dare I say. It's a shame you'll finish 5th to United in 4th.
Can you imagine? Tobes, your thoughts, man? I know you're a big Jesus fan, and you're a little bit jealous that he come to Arsenal. And to be fair, you've been right to be. He's been fantastic. So what have you made? Any change at all, or are you still standing by that it's a long season and Arsenal's fixtures will get in the way and they get the better of them?
I've always said that Arsenal are going to be competitive this season, man. I don't, truthfully, like, I'm not ruling Arsenal out of the Champions League spots. Yeah, anything can happen, but I'm just going off what I think, and I think that right at the end, when it really matters, I still think Antonio Conte and Thomas Tuchel will get their teams over the line more so than Arteta. But I do think Arsenal have improved their team. Jesus is obviously one of the players. I think Saliba coming back in there has made the centre-back depth stronger. I think Arsenal are going to be definitely more competitive than they were last season, but I also think so are we. I also think so are Chelsea. So will make for an interesting season. I do think Arsenal have a really good chance of winning the Europa League. I think depending on which teams drop into it, I can see that they're probably my favourite to win the Europa League. I think it will be even a bit of a disappointment if they don't make at least the semi-finals of that competition. When you look at the players they've been able to bring in, when you look at their first 11, when you look at all the buzz around Arsenal, and when you look at what the Europa League would represent for them as a club, they got to be getting semis, in my opinion.
I think that's fair, man. Listen, I think we'll be disappointed if we get to a semis, man. I'm going for this Europa League win. I think Roma are the only team at the moment I look at until the Champions League teams drop down that I'm too worried about. So, I fancy us for the Europa League currently. Lawless, what's your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, like started well, looking better, all of that business. I agree with Tobes, funny enough, and Lewis, what he said, the 2 games a week situation is going to be interesting. I think could take a toll. And I see the comment there said, that it was 5th without a striker. Now we got a striker. The difference is obviously the teams above have strengthened as well. This is Conte's first season. Now he's got his team how he wants it. Tuchel, they're looking to spend. They're looking to strengthen that squad, and they've shown people. I always said this: people was too quick, and it was a lot of Arsenal fans too quick to write Chelsea off and start saying they're going to finish outside the top 4. So it's going to be a hard battle, but I think that you'll be in the race for the long haul. So it's going to be a close race, but yeah, I think that you'll ultimately miss out, which should mean the sacking of the process man, really and truly. So yeah, that's it. It's just the way it is. If you don't get it, this is it. Money's being spent.
I agree, bro.
It's crazy. More money than Chelsea. More, I think
more
it's
money
more
than
money.
us. Apparently, we've had this revolutionary window.
Yeah, I see this in the last 10 years. It said that Man United, Arsenal have had a higher net spend than Chelsea, and like Spurs and that. So, all the chat that gets levied at Spurs about being a money club, Arsenal got to start delivering. And this is the thing. Kroenke, is he going to start getting his respect? We talk about respect Arteta. We got to have a show on Kroenke, mate. I know it's coming to the end of the show, but maybe next week on London Club's Carnage, I'm coming at you about Kroenke.
You can come at me about Kroenke all you want, bro. All you want.
We're talking Kroenke, mate.
We can talk Kroenke. Just to let you know, Lawless, there's a Denmark fan, and he says that Viborg are not a big club in Denmark. They've just had one good season. So
they got a league title, mate. Okay. They've got a league title. They've got a league title in the last 20 years.
What are you big? Are you bigging them up just in case you lose? Like, what is all this about, man?
He's a weirdo, man. He's a weirdo. Because I'm sure when Spurs were playing Pacos de Ferreira, I'm sure he had these jokes out about Pacos. But now when West Ham are in the competition, he wants us to respect Cyborg United.
Sorry, what's weird about respecting your opponents? Like showing respect to your opponents?
I didn't say you shouldn't respect your opponents. I'm saying we can make jokes about it because they're clearly not a strong enough side. And everyone sees you as the overwhelming favourites for this.
Do you know what? I cannot wait. There's going to be a time, and it may not be this next season. It may not be the season after. But Spurs will be back in that Conference League, and Spurs will draw Viborg FF, and Spurs will lose. And I'm coming back into this archive, and oh my God, I'm going to get these clips.
You're hilarious. You're hilarious because when we were in the Conference League, that was one of your biggest jibes at Spurs. Oh, we're in the Europa League, you're in the Conference League, you're playing rare tear. That was one of your biggest things. That was one of your best ways to get at Tottenham. And now when I'm doing the same thing against you when we're in the Champions League, you don't like it.
It's not that I don't like it. Do it, Tony.
Do it.
Like what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do, Gan?
Yeah, keep crying about Cyborg Rovers and fucking Terminator FC. I'm sorry that. I'm sorry that I don't have to play
Cyborg Rovers, bro.
Fucking hell.
You don't have to play these teams this season, Tobe. Yeah. Don't never say never.
Mate,
but listen,
wrapping this up.
He said, I'm sorry, we don't have to play these teams anymore right now.
If we get into the knockouts, Tobes, I'm saying we've already done better than you. So
cool story, bro. Cheers.
Listen, we're wrapping this up. Otherwise, you two are going to go for another hour. Guys, this has been a banging stream, as I knew it would. There's 700 people still watching live. You lot are mad. Smash a like on the video if you can. Subscribe to the channel. And make sure you support all the other content as well from everybody else. All of their channels are in the description. Please head over to them, like and subscribe and do all that stuff. And we will see you next week, guys. Thank you to my panel. Thank you to everybody for being in the chat and interacting. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And until then, we will see you next time, guys. Take care.
Peace.